Welcome to Big Bad.
We're best buds.
Break down
the biggest bads. Guards, I will need a fire tonight.
Yes, Master Frollo. Fire. Bringing 4 logs right away.
Yeah, 4. What do you want? 4, 5? 5 logs? 5 logs will not be nearly enough fire.
Oh, okay. So this fire's going all night.
All night and hot and large, burning fire.
Yes, sir, Master Frollo. Okay. Hey, put in an order. Go down to the woodsmith and grab 2 bundles. Let's get 12 logs going on down here. So
yeah, I'll go get the chopper boy and get. How many did you say?
Get 12 logs. 12 should be good. That's more.
23 logs.
Master Frollo, are you sure? Did I hear 23?
I want 23 logs. I want an inferno. I need to set the mood.
Did he just say inferno?
He did say inferno. It needs to be hellish in here. Did he say hellish? Whatever.
Don't question this guy anymore.
He's the magistrate.
Go get the logs. All right, coming right up. It'll be here in a minute.
Wonderful. Also, I don't know if it's possible, but can you procure me a mannequin? A beautiful, shapely mannequin in a raven hair wig.
You want a
shapely mannequin?
I'm sorry, shapely. That's.
Can you get me a dancing mannequin?
Well, I can get you a mannequin with legs and arms.
I got your logs.
The logs are here. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go find a shapely mannequin, I guess.
No. The mannequin can wait. Build me a fire, please.
Oh, okay. Boys. Right here, this is the safest part in the center of the room, away from all the walls. We will build the fire right here.
I need the fire to, lick out into the middle of the room sensuously, like a sexy mannequin.
Oh, back with the mannequins. Okay.
Do you like the way, a beautiful woman, licking out into the room? I need that. I need that sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. A licking woman of flame.
Licking woman.
Yes.
But hellish.
Sure.
Like a hellish woman. If you could get the fumes to look like a lady that I could grab and or sniff.
Okay. Totally normal request.
I got you, sir. I've seen this before.
Yeah? Have you? Okay.
Trust me. More, and eventually you get this towering inferno.
Wow, that is dangerously sweltering. Those flames are getting pretty close to the ceiling, man.
Yes, it'll do nicely.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna go. You mind if I'll watch the door?
Yes,
how about that? Okay.
Leave me with my fire.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, hey, look, the mannequin's here. You want this?
No, I don't need the mannequin when I have all this fire.
Okay, great.
And he has a crazed look in his eye.
Yep. I'm gonna close this door behind me, and what the fuck, man? What was that?
I don't know, man. Magistrates, dude. It's he's one of those really religious types. He's really into this.
Whoa! I could feel the heat coming from under the door. I think he put the table. He threw a table in there.
He threw a table into the fire. I heard it. Hey, I think he's praying.
I creak the door. Check this shit out. Yo, this guy does pay his bills, right? Because I'm really second guessing this.
He's fucking loaded, dude. Just roll with it.
All right, look, if it fills my pockets, I ain't gonna say nothing, but I don't know about this guy, man.
Look, man, let him have his fire. It's not hurting us. Let's just.
Hellfire, this fire in my skin.
Hey, man. I think we gotta talk. I I gotta talk to my agency. I think this temp job ain't working out, man.
Is he? I think he's trying to make out with the fire. He's like grabbing it. I think he's gonna die. He's gonna jump into the fire, and I think he's trying to make love through the fire.
He's definitely like singed a lot of his hair because
he didn't have much
I can
to start
smell
with.
it. I can smell hair in there, and it's bad.
I can smell burning old person. It's a very distinct smell. Did he just say he would burn down all of Paris to get with this girl? This guy's nuts, dude. Do you just want to go join the Court of Miracles? That seems like a much better vibe.
They're like a way chiller crowd and kind of fun.
Yeah, they seem like a pretty cool dudes. This old magistrate's giving me the heebie-jeebies, man.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of the ick.
Yeah, that's a lot of ick.
Also, I'm pretty sure this place is burning down tonight,
Yeah,
and I don't want to be around here.
Yeah, I'm not. I think he's actually going to burn down Paris. I think we should get the hell out of fucking Paris. He seems serious. He seems really serious about burning down Paris to get with this girl. I don't think I don't think he's ever actually like been on a date. I don't think he really, like. I'm getting kind of incel vibes from this dude. I think we need to bail.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Let's bail.
I'm with you. Let's bail, man. Let's go. Let's go.
We don't know what the theme song is.
It's good. Okay.
Hello, listener, and welcome to the possibly third canonically episode of The Big Bad.
It is third. I have a question.
Yeah?
I'm already left with a dilemma, and this is before I don't know anything. We're calling it the third, but what do we call session 0? Do we call it 1?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, so this is either session
Because technically Bowser was 1?
Yeah. I think we say episode 0. That's intriguing. The listener will be
so
like,
this
what
is the
episode?
second episode then?
I guess. Second? Yeah, so welcome to the second episode.
Okay, cool. As long as I'll get used to it after like the 10th episode and know where we're sitting. So as long as we know 0, 1, welcome to episode 2.
Okay, welcome to episode 2 of, depending on how you count, depending on your numeric, do you use the decimal system? Do you use the 10, or do you use some kind of like, fuck, this is
None of that. If they're calling it 0, it doesn't matter.
Okay, welcome to episode 2. Officially 2.
Sure.
Unofficially 3.
No. Now I'm scrambled. Now I'm getting nervous.
Every episode should have episode 2 parentheses 3. Episode 3 parentheses 4. Episode just
This is where I feel like I'm back in school.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, episode 2. What do you got a nasty boy for me today?
I do, but before we do that, before we get into the nasty, disgusting, all too realistic villain that I have prepared, let's do another segment. We talked about doing a segment called The Little Bad.
Oh.
So
where we try to rat on ourselves.
No, that was no. That was Am I the Big Bad?
Oh, okay. Whew.
This is The Little Bad, where we talk about evil things or that we've either encountered in the real world or on maybe a show or something we're watching that isn't the main topic. So,
okay.
And the thing I want to talk about is the bane of my existence right now, which is kudzu.
Kudzu.
Yes. So for the listener or Q who's maybe not familiar, there is an evil plant born in the. Can you say the Orient, or is that racist? Born in Japan. That is an invasive species. He's Googling is saying the Orient. Right? There is a plant born in Japan that is an invasive species to the American Southeast that is completely overtaking my life, and it's called kudzu. If you're not familiar, this is a weed, a vining weed that can take over swaths of forest in a matter of weeks or months. It grows something like feet per day, and I am having so we have a giant kudzu, essentially. I don't want to call it a forest because that has like a good connotation. What a plague! We have a kudzu plague.
Okay, a plague, a dark jungle.
I think I think
a Jumanji. You have a Jumanji in your backyard.
we rolled badly on a Jumanji roll, and we got kudzu. It was our Jumanji roll because behind our house we have just a wall of kudzu that our little fence is holding the line against. And
it cannot be overstated how thick and deep and ominous this wall of kudzu is. It is so thick. It's terrifying to actually look at. Like I was looking at it earlier today and I was feeling existential dread somewhere deep within me. Like some primal fear was awakening when I was just gazing into this Jumanji depth.
Yeah.
It was wild.
It makes you realize how insignificant your existence is when something this large can grow so fast and just to overtake your life. You just realize that how small humanity is. Like it's terrifying. The mind boggles. So anyway, but we've had this kudzu for a while, and kudzu is also seasonal. It tends to die off. In like the winter and fall months. So whatever, we got our house last year. And I noticed the kudzu last year, and I was like, that sucks. I'm just not going to look over my fence line.
I'm just going to let it do its thing over there.
Just let the wilds do what they will. Just let God rot whatever he wants behind my fence. But, I'm just going to keep. But this year, kudzu, apparently, I didn't know this. I've never heard of this. Comes with an extra bonus feature.
Bonus feature.
Yeah, and a DLC of kudzu comes with a DLC called kudzu bugs or kudzu beetles. I'm not exactly sure on the terminology. Doesn't matter. I think you saw them earlier and you called them ladybug rejects or like shit, like crappy ladybugs, or
they look like the dejected cousin of the ladybug.
Yeah, they look like the basement dwelling ladybug. If the ladybug is the hot girl, I call it. This is like, it's a terrible ladybug, a shadow realm ladybug, whatever you want to call it, a nega ladybug, whatever you want to call it. They're these brown turd looking bugs that feed on and lay their eggs in kudzu. And I've never seen them. I've seen kudzu in the past. I've never seen these horrible creatures. And although they don't invade your house, what they do is they're attracted to, and I understand that we're spending a lot of time talking about kudzu. That may or may not be.
I'm enthralled. I'm at the edge of my seat right here.
So not only are they they swarmed our backyard like fucking Egypt, man, like the locusts.
It's wild. I witnessed it. I did not notice them until they dropped the lore, and then my eyes were opened. The veil was peeled back, and I was looking up your gutters,
right,
and just saw like leprosy across your gutter.
Leprosy is
it was wild. They're everywhere.
Gutter lepers are their other name. Yeah.
Gutter lepers.
Yeah. Because what they do is they're attracted to white and bright colors. So they don't invade houses, thank God. So they're not like roaches or termites, but what they do is they will latch on like fucking barnacles onto any white that might be around your house. So siding, gutters. If your house is white, God have mercy on your soul, because I don't know what you do if your house is white. And it literally looks like leprosy is perfect, or like pimples or something. Like your house is just blotched and black, brown. So kudzu not only has the evil and gall and not wherewithal, that's not the right word. Kudzu is not conscious, but the gall to like take over huge swaths of land, but they have an extension. Like they breed an extension of their evil that flies out and covers homes and covers living spaces in these terrible creatures. So tomorrow I'm going to go out and try to fight the kudzu. I'm going to weed whack and weed spray. And
You're going on your holy crusade.
yeah, I'm going on tomorrow. So what I'm saying is tomorrow I'm going on a crusade. And if this is the last episode of Big Bad, it's because I've died. It's because I've
been consumed by the kudzu.
Yeah, so
wow.
That's my little bad is kudzu is evil. It's an evil in this world and no one should have to deal with it. So
man, I don't know. That's a pretty big little bad. There's a lot at stake here.
Compared to some of the people that we talk about that actually commit
atrocities,
war crimes and genocide, it's pretty small. It's just making my house ugly. It's not a big deal. But I mean, you know. All right. So today, dear evil listener, is so today we're doing so the format we're talked about is one of us kind of taking the lead on each villain going forward, and this is my turn, my episode.
Yeah, you've chosen religious trauma.
Yes.
That's great. This hits home for a lot of, for myself. I'm sure you, all of our listeners, welcome back to the gray room where you're gonna go face to face with your childhood horrors.
Yeah, exactly. So today I chose a villain that I think is extremely underrated in the Disney lexicon, canon, what have you. Frollo from the Hunchback of Notre Dame. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of go through some points that happen throughout the movie.
Okay.
To talk about what happens in the movie, what he is, what he does, and then I can also go through our little point by point system. So,
yeah, this is good. Okay.
So I'm not going to rehash the entire. I'll probably end up rehashing the whole movie, but okay. So for those of you who don't know the general plot of Hunchback of Notre Dame, it's based off of a
all you Gen Zers out there.
Yeah, all you Gen Zers, or just anybody. You don't have to be Gen Z to not know what a movie is. But yeah,
who do you think our audience is?
I don't know. What do you mean? Are you saying we are exclusively?
Have you heard of movies?
No, I'm just saying maybe you haven't seen.
Hello, indigenous tribes of the untouched world. Pretty sure Hunchback of Notre Dame is pretty well renowned by 90% of the modern world.
But I mean, maybe you just missed it.
All right, no, you know what? It's inclusive of you. I respect it. So my bad. Continue.
Okay, so the general premise of the Disney movie, which varies pretty heavily from the 19th century novel, or it was written, it was based on. But the Disney premise is is there a more politically correct word for deformed?
A nasty boy.
That's not the politically correct version of deformed.
It's a real nasty boy.
No. A person with physical deformities.
I think that's good.
Is adopted by Frollo, who we'll talk about is the main villain, who is a government official and very religious person who puts him in the bell tower of Hunchback of Notre Dame. And his job is to ring the bells of Notre Dame, which is a cathedral in Paris. If you don't know what Notre Dame is.
Notre Damus.
No, that's...
Sir.
You're thinking of Nostradamus, dude. You're thinking of the guy.
Damn it, I thought I was on point.
No,
with my cultural.
That was so good. You tried.
I thought I was connecting with my roots.
No, you tried to talk down to me. You tried to be a pretentious dick, and you fucked up.
I tried so hard to one up you.
Nostradamus was the guy who predicted a bunch of shit.
Are you sure they also don't call Nostradamus?
No, it's Notre. N-O-T-R-E, and then Dame, D. I don't speak French, but D-A-M-E, I think. But it's Notre Dame. I know this because they say the word Notre Dame several times in the movie, The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Notre Damus.
No.
That's how I remember it.
Okay.
All right, fine. You win this one.
Okay. It's Notre Dame. Fucking idiot. Okay.
Continue. Get on with your bullshit.
Okay. You mean the premise of the show is the bullshit? He's gonna fucking die.
Okay.
Okay, so he adopts this person who he calls Quasimodo, which means half formed in French.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Extra shitty of him.
And
and he
fucked up.
Yeah. And he has them. He's so ashamed of him or whatever because he's not attractive and he's ugly, and he puts him in a bell tower, and his job is to ring the bells. He gets out for a day. He meets a he meets a very attractive.
Okay.
He meets a very lovely woman named Esmeralda, who is I'm going to use the more socially acceptable term Romani, which back in the day was what is the correct term for what a lot of people called gypsies back in the day.
Does he call them gypsies?
He calls them gypsies
in this film.
yeah.
Okay, yes. The Romani.
The Romani, yeah. Who's a Romani, a attractive Romani woman who makes him feel very special. But then there's also a captain of the guard who's charged with like rooting out the Romani at Frollo's orders, and there's a love triangle which I will actually comment on between Quasimodo, Esmeralda, and Phoebus is the name of the captain of the guard. But they all end up eventually working on the same side, and Frollo's trying to rout out all of the Romani people living there, and specifically Esmeralda, because he hates her and he's infatuated with her. And then he captures her, but then Frollo saves her, then Quasimodo saves her, and then dispatches of Frollo at the end. So that's the general overview of Hunchback of Notre Dame, if you haven't seen it or heard of it. The book is very different. It's similar in like basically name only, and a lot of the characters have the same names.
The only thing I know about the book, because I know virtually nothing, is the difference with Frollo's occupation, that he is actually the high priest,
right,
or what something in the churchdom. He is not a government official, but he's an
actual priest, right?
Okay, yes, that's the only difference that I'm aware of from the books to the Disney movie.
Right. I'm not going to get into the books because I haven't read the book. I've read the synopsis of the book. It's way more fucked up. I think this movie is one of the most adult, like, kind of like touches on a lot of like more adult themed movies that Disney has done. And the book is straight up like weird and nasty. Again, based on the synopsis, it's a classic of literature, so don't take my word for it. Take someone who has actually read a book.
I feel like, as is the case with most Disney adaptations, they
right,
pull from old folklore of kind of really fucked up stories, and then they Disneyfy them.
Exactly. Yes.
However, I will say this particular movie, out of almost all of Disney's stuff, is kind of next level on adult themed stuff.
Yes.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, I don't know how much time will take, but I was surprised at the amount of stuff. So full disclosure, Esmeralda was one of my first crushes as a kid.
Oh, okay.
And the crush before that was Nala. I swear I like actually from Lion King, which is really weird. So I swear I like real human, the lion.
Lion.
Yeah. So I swear
the girl lion.
I was 4 years old. Okay, or 5.
Okay. All right. Okay. No. You get a pass.
You get a pass on bestiality. Yeah. I swear I like.
I'd call it furry, but not. I'm not gonna go as far as to call it bestiality. But okay. All right, cool. No.
Now in my 30s, I like real non-cartoon
human flesh,
human women. Yeah, human flesh. Gross. Okay. So, but okay, what I'll say though is that I was not entirely in the wrong for having a crush on Esmeralda, because they made her very, not just pretty in this movie, but like pretty sensual,
quite scandalous for 90s terms.
For 90s kid movie,
she showed ankle and a lot.
No,
of it.
It's not even the amount of skin. It's like. Okay, I don't know. We may have to cut this out because I don't want to get like I don't want to get preachy or anything like that. But like, she's like when she dances in the scene. You said you did watch the movie again.
I did not.
You did not. Oh man,
I did not.
Okay, sorry.
But I do remember a good bit of the film.
There's a part where like during the Festival of Fools where she dances, and it's like belly dancing. Like it is like not like it's not Disney. Like how we're having a good time dancing. It's like sensual. At one point she's actually like briefly kind of pole dancing. Like it's
well, this is another moment where this particular Disney movie, I don't know how they got the pass, but hits on much more adult themes than any other Disney film.
Exactly. And Frollo is the best example of that. So let me let me get to the meat of it. Let me talk about Frollo for a little bit. Okay. So Frollo is a character that I grew up thinking he was in the movie, he was a priest, but he's not. He's actually a government official. He's I
had always assumed he was a priest, just because of how much religion he talked about.
Exactly. So I don't think the movie ever actually outright says it, but I looked it up, and he's like a magistrate. He's like a high judge, but he's extremely religious. And like, so, the two things with Frollo that are like his biggest problems are sin or like faults as a villain. It's interesting because so many Disney villains are so concerned with like power. So, you know, you have Scar who wants to be king. You have Ursula who wants to rule the ocean. This continues all throughout, like even in Frozen, the prince, whatever his name was, wanted to be like prince or king or whatever. This is typically what Disney does because it's a really easy thing to understand and latch onto. This person, it wants to be more powerful. There's a good guy or a good system in the way, so they're going to kill the good guy or destroy the system and become more powerful. This is what Disney does. Frollo is already starting from a position of power. He does not strive for power the whole movie. He is in control and in power the whole movie, and his goal is never to get more power. That is not what drives him. The thing that drives him the whole movie is his pride and his racism. The racism is very obvious, so I'll touch on that too. But the things that I find most interesting about him that the movie does more subtly, and it ties into the racism as well. The thing that drives him the most is his pride and his perception of himself, and the fact that he needs to be a certain way to himself, and he needs to be better than everyone, and especially the people that he racistly despises, which are the Romani people. And it's an interesting motivation because it's unique. He is not trying to get rich. He is not trying to get powerful. He is trying to be what he thinks he is supposed to be and destroy people that he thinks are lesser than him.
Yeah, very interesting. It's incredible levels of pride and fighting against the notion of hypocriticality is not a word. What is being hypocritical?
Yeah, there's a better word. There's a good word for that. Well, we're not going to know.
Who's to say?
Yeah, who's to say? But I know what you're saying. Hypocrisy. Golly.
Hypocrisy. Oh, wow. Hypocriticality or hypocrisy.
No, it's hypocriticality.
I like mine better.
Yeah, yours sound smarter.
But yeah, no, you make a great point. He has achieved, at least in his town, in his area,
his
in
universe,
his city, his world, he is like the highest point of authority.
Right. And even if he wanted, like, I want to be the king of France or whatever, I want to be whatever, we never see him striving for that. He doesn't want to be anything more than he is.
The only thing that subdues him is something contending with his pride.
Exactly.
Like the priest confronting him about something might subdue some of his actions.
Yeah, let me get into that. So the movie opens and Frollo is chasing this group of Romani people who are trying to get away, and in so doing he's chasing them on his horse, and he runs down this Romani woman, like with his horse. He kills her, and he kills her on the steps of Notre Dame. He looks at her baby. He's like, "What is this? Oh, it's probably stolen goods, no doubt." And he picks it up, and he's like, "Oh, he thinks it's a demon because it's so ugly and malformed or whatever." And so he is going. The first thing we see Frollo do is go to try to throw the baby in the well. And he thinks he's doing something righteous. He says, and this is a common thing that keeps happening, is he keeps using religion to justify his own evil. He keeps reframing every evil thing he does as being something righteous. Because he has to. He can't believe that he is unrighteous. So he has to frame every evil thing he does as being righteous. He has to he sees God's law and God's will as just a surrogate for his own decision making and his own evil.
Yeah.
And he's very pious in ways that are like, you know, and specifically this is going to matter a whole lot later. sins of cruelty he's blind to and he doesn't think are sin, but sins of vice, like lust, like drinking, which he mentions later on, like these kinds of like more like, well, sins of vice, I don't know of another word to kind of put it, he looks down upon a lot, and he doesn't struggle with those, and he doesn't have an issue with those. So he thinks that people that do are especially evil and wrong. I'm sorry, getting a little off top. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So we're back at the well. The first thing we see this evil man do is about to drop a baby in the well. And the actual head priest of Notre Dame rushes out and says, "Stop! You ran this woman down and killed her. And the next thing you're going to do is kill a baby? Haven't you done enough?" Frollo immediately, because again, he knows murder is wrong. He doesn't think of it as murder. He immediately makes an excuse like, "I was chasing her because she was evil and I ran her down.
It's her fault.
It's her fault. I'm blameless." He says that. And what happens, it's really interesting. The only time we really see Frollo be weak until the end is at this opening scene. The priest confronts him and says, "You can say what you want, but the eyes of God," he says the eyes of Notre Dame, which basically is an implant for God. They don't actually talk about God all that. I'm not sure they actually.
He's kind of referring to like the saints of.
Right. Yes. Like he points to like and then there's a shot of the statues, which we can assume are the saints. They saw what you did, and we actually see Frollo be afraid. We see him be and I think the voiceover says that in that moment Frollo was afraid of divine judgment. And he says, "What must I do to atone?" And the priest tells him, "You have to raise the child as your own. Raise the child as your own, and that I guess would atone." I'm not sure how that works. I'm not going to get into the actual like theology of that, but but whatever. That's what the priest tells him to do. So he does, and so then we cut to the future, and Quasimodo is significantly older. I'm not really sure it talks about his age, but he's older. He's a teenager, 20s or something like that. And we see him in the bell tower. He does a song, whatever. I'm going to skip most of the songs except one critical one.
Okay.
Frollo comes to visit him. We see Frollo actually essentially taking care of Quasimodo. So it does seem like despite him being cartoonishly evil, he does have a little bit of dimensionality to him, because we see him kind of take ownership of his stewardship of Quasimodo.
Yeah. He does feed him.
He feeds
visits him.
He visits
educates him.
He educates him. Mm-hmm. Although he's still teaching him the alphabet at age like 20. So how well he's educating him is, debatable. I think in the book, Quasimodo's like mute. Like I think he also has like a little bit of cognitive delays as well. So I don't know. But in the movie, he's not. He's just not being treated well. And one of the first things we see him do is we tell that he is manipulating, lying, and abusing Quasimodo psychologically, because he lies to him about his mother. He says his mother abandoned him, does not tell him that he killed her. So he lies to him about his mother. He also tells him over and over again, classic abuser behavior, that if you go out into I am the only one that is safe for you. If you go out into the world, if you experience other opinions, he doesn't say this, I'm kind of paraphrasing to kind of like make it analogous to an abuser. If you experience any other thing, it's going to be evil. It's going to taint your soul. You're going to be lied to. You're going to be hurt. You're going to be abused. I'm the only one that's safe for you. So he's gaslighting Quasimodo. He's lying to him. He's keeping him under his control. But in his mind, he's doing something righteous. He's taking in this thing that he thinks is a foul creature, and he's raising it. He's doing the right thing. And he is counted, even though it was born out of fear, not born out of altruism. He counts his raising of Frollo as righteousness. So just feeding back into the fact that everything he does, he sees as being a righteous thing.
It's because, he hides under so much hypocrisy.
Yes.
Because he looks at Quasimodo and he sees, and this is masked kind of up until the end of the film, which I'm sure you'll get into. He looks at him and he is hiding the fact that he's disgusted by what he sees. He thinks he's looking at a monster. It's evil.
Right.
It's disgusting. It shouldn't be alive. And he's saying, because I feel this way, this is how the world is going to view you. So I'm going to do the righteous thing and protect you from how the world is going to react to you, because I feel so disgusted you should be dead. I'm protecting you from the world acting that way. So he's taking his own internal feelings, masking it with compassion, and saying, I'm actually doing you a solid by hiding you from the world.
I didn't even think of that angle. You might be totally right. The fact that he believes what he's telling him, which I didn't even think about, but that's also true. Either way, whether it's a conscious lie and it's just to control him and keep him out of sight and whatever, or whether he's so twisted and fucked up that he believes that the world is going to hate him the way he does. The world will hate Quasimodo the way Frollo does.
Yeah.
Either way, it's two different brands of evil and fucked up.
And I feel like it could be both. It could be him lying to himself. He has this internal struggle.
Exactly.
Like, just inherently, I know, like, the world is going to hate you because I feel like you are so disgusting, you shouldn't be alive.
Exactly.
But he's lying to himself because he's like, I'm doing such a great thing. I'm taking care of you after your mother abandoned you, quote unquote, which... Yeah.
Oh, that's the other thing. So, okay, since you brought it up, I also wonder, so the end of the movie kind of negates this, so I'm not on board. But I kind of wonder how much he believes his lie about his mother too, like that he saved him. How much does he buy into the lie that he is taking care of and protecting Quasimodo? It's never fully answered in the movie, but it's an interesting thing to think about because both ends of the spectrum speak to how awful he is or how disturbed he is. Either way, either he's fully aware of everything he's doing and he's lying and manipulating to control him, or he's so messed up and he's so bought into everything he does, every cruel thing he does is an act of righteousness that he fully believes he's doing everything right. So either way, it's nuts. He even tells Quasimodo that to continue speaking to what we're talking about, he tells him that anyone else, I think you're actually right. I think he might actually believe this about him, about the world, about people, because it's his only lens is through his own cruelty. He tells Quasimodo that anyone else would have drowned you. He used the word drowned because that's what he was about to do.
His first instinct
was to drown him,
was to immediately discard the child after he murdered his mother.
Exactly. So another facet, I'm about to really go off in a second.
Okay.
Because his villain song is the best villain song that Disney has ever done. So, and I'll get to that in a minute. But one other aspect about him I wanted to point it out. We've already talked about how he uses religion to justify his own cruelty. And he uses it because any act that he does must be an act of God the way he understands God. We've already talked about that. But one thing that's so apparent in the movie is how little he actually cares about the church and about God, about the Catholic religion. Because, okay, so backtrack. After the Feast of Fools, and we meet Esmeralda, she and Frollo's trying to catch her. She runs into the church and she claims sanctuary. And the laws, again, I'm not 100% of my Catholicism or whatever. I don't know if it's a Catholic law or a French law at the time, but what happens is that anyone who goes into the church can claim sanctuary, which means you cannot arrest them or take them. The church is a safe place for everyone is supposed to be the implication. She runs in, she claims sanctuary. Phoebus, the captain, who's currently working for Frollo at this point in the movie, runs in. And he doesn't capture her because... And actually, Phoebus actually tells her, like, claim sanctuary because he doesn't want to take her.
Ah, okay.
Like, he's like, say sanctuary, like, when Frollo arrives. And anyway, but she claims sanctuary. Phoebus is like, I will not arrest her because she's claimed sanctuary. And Frollo, just to emphasize how little he actually cares about the actual religion that is so apparently, quote unquote, devoted to, says like, well, then drag her out of the church and arrest her. So like he already has disdain for the actual institution of the church that he uses to justify his own cruelty and to hide behind, basically.
Yeah.
Just to emphasize like how little he's actually connected to the Catholic religion or the church or Notre Dame at all. He's perfectly willing to toss aside their laws and their rules if it means that he reaches his own racist evil ends. And so I'll also talk about like, I'm kind of diving into like the less obvious aspects of Frollo that I think are interesting, but it also goes without saying that it's not subtle at all. This man is full-blown racist and classist. He hates the Romani people. He hates the poors. He calls them like licentious masses and stuff. Like he hates them. That is the very upfront Disney message is like, this man is racist. This man hates.
By the way, this dude's got a banger vocab.
Yes.
Licentious masses.
One thing I love,
What?
I know, one thing I love about this movie is the constant interplay of church vocabulary, like, and including straight up Latin, which I'll talk about in a little bit when we get to the song, and woven into these characters and this world. It's really cool because, like, I don't know, like, it just, the vocab, some of the writing in this movie I don't actually love, which depending on time I can actually get into, but so much of it is well written, both like with like the interplay between the Catholic lexicon and stuff like that is just really cool. Okay, so this is about halfway through the movie. The literal centerpiece of the movie.
Okay.
And this is the song this is what I re-listened to this song as an adult and I was like, holy shit, is the song Hellfire.
Oh, a haunting piece.
Yes, so good. And so I'm going to pull up the lyrics. I'm not sure if I'm going to read them all. But so at this point, Esmeralda, during the Feast of Fools, before all this escalated, was almost did like a fun, flirty dance for Frollo to kind of like for the crowd. And later on, Frollo like has her and he like, you see him kind of like it's really, this movie's fucking weird, man. He like sniffs her kind of like sensually, like, cause he's like obsessed with her. Like, he's lusting after her. Like, the movie doesn't really hide away from it. It doesn't talk about explicitly sex, but it is explicit that this man is lusting after this Romani woman.
Yeah. I think this movie explicitly hits on the theme and the sin of lust.
Yes. 100%.
The lust and love. It makes a juxtaposition between lust and love, between Quasimodo and Frollo's both takes on Esmeralda.
Right. And so Hellfire is this, I think, fantastically written song. And the whole thing is that Frollo is lusting after Esmeralda, and because lust is a sin of vice that he looks down upon, he cannot reconcile fact that the sin that he is sinless and blameless and he is experiencing, and it fucking wrecks him because his entire perception of himself is shattered and he does not know what to do with it. So the song opens with a Catholic prayer, which I just looked up the Latin translation. I knew some of the Latin, just I don't know, by being a nerd, but like I didn't know all of it. It starts with so it opens up, and this isn't Frollo yet. This is like a bunch of clergymen who are doing like they're walking around Notre Dame and they're spreading incense, and I don't know what this ritual is called in Catholicism, but they're saying, and in Latin they're saying, I confess to God Almighty, to Blessed Mary, ever Virgin, to the blessed Archangel Michael, to the holy apostles, to all the saints. And then Frollo comes. So it's a prayer of confession. Frollo comes in and says, starts talking to Mary specifically, the female presence in the Catholic Church. She's not
the icon of purity,
right? In a female, like a woman. I don't know if that's what you would do for a Catholic or if that's like strange at all, but it's telling because like this whole thing is about his relationship with women and lust. You know that I'm a righteous man. Of my virtue, I am justly proud. Again, pride is his main thing. That they're really hitting it on the nose here. It's pretty obvious. You know, I'm so much purer than the common, vulgar, weak, licentious crowd. So like immediately coming in with like, I mean, he's just wearing it on his sleeve. Like this typical with musicals, like when the feelings get so big, they have to sing, they just kind of like let it all out or whatever. But then tell me, Maria, why I see her dancing there, why her smoldering eyes still scorch my soul. So Esmeralda has essentially, he doesn't understand why he's lusting. He can't handle the fact that he's lusting after this woman, to the extent, and also the fact that she's a Romani woman too. You have to take that into consideration. Like, he can't handle the fact that not only is he so pure, but he is lusting after this person that he has indiscriminately hated. His entire frame of reference for himself is like crumbling apart in this one song.
Yeah.
I feel her, I see her, the sun caught in her raven hair is blazing in me out of all control. And also the Latin in this part. So the Latin that starts at the end continues through. I don't know if this is an established prayer or made for the show or whatever. So the choir is still singing. So it starts, I confess to God Almighty, blah, 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 that I have sinned And that's when he says, and tell me, Maria, why I see her there. In thought is what the Latin says. I've sinned in thought, in word, and deed. And he's going over it. Frollo is describing how he's sinning verbatim with this Latin choir, but he cannot see it. And then he does the fucking this actor. Hold on, the actor is I wrote him down. Shit, Tony J. Oh, his voice is the most. Dude's voice is the most deep, rich, evil, sexy butter that you can possibly get for a villain. Like, I mean, he's not as famous as like a Darth Vader, but like it's up there. Like,
yeah, no, he's great.
And his singing voice is equally as impressive. I don't know if it was the same actor, because sometimes they won't have the same actor sing as they do. Usually for the film version, the same actor will sing, but then for like the soundtrack version, sometimes they'll get a different singer. So he does the chorus, which is hellfire, dark fire, that whole thing, which is like the running theme throughout. That theme plays throughout the whole movie, more so than almost any other song, more so than the bells of Notre Dame, whatever, more so than like Quasimodo's I Want song. This is the theme. This song is the theme of the movie. So it would be like if like in Disney, if Scar's Be Prepared was the theme, but it's not. Like, that's not the song that gets played whoever. This is the song that gets played by the orchestra throughout most of the movie, because it is like the centerpiece of the movie. So the next scene is a bridge, or the next aspect of the is a sort of bridge kind of section of the song, and also the animation in the song is fantastic. It's him having this like it's Esmeralda in the fire coming out and tempting him, and him trying to. Yeah, it's incredible. But at this point, it shifts, and he starts having visions of these like towering judges over him. And during this time, the Latin choir is saying mea culpa, which means my fault. But it's also like what's used to say like as an apology or repentance. God in the choir is telling him to repent. And his response is, it's not my fault. I am not to blame. It's the witch who set this flame. So again, she has done nothing, and all the fact that he desires her is like her fault. He just can't see any flaw in himself.
God, this villain is so uncomfortable because it hits so close to reality. It's
exactly
so painful, and it's so shocking that Disney had the courage to do this. Yeah. To put this on their name.
I know. It's wild, man. And then, so here he goes. So he can't reconcile the fact that he's sinning. We've already talked about that. When God or the choir or whatever is demanding his mea culpa, when it's saying, like, you need to repent, he first blames her. Ridiculous. She just existed. I mean, I guess she danced or whatever, but ridiculous. The next thing he does... It's not my fault. It's in God's plan. He is so twisted. He needs to believe himself righteous so badly that he not only cannot put the blame that is rightfully his on himself, he can't put it on. He puts on Esmeralda. Ridiculous. He puts his own righteousness above God's. He says, this is God's fault. This is definitely not mine. It's either Esmeralda's. Okay, in that case, it's God's fault because he made me this way. Like, it just is so telling how little he actually cares for anything that he says he believes. All he believes in is the only thing he believes in is himself.
Man.
Yeah. He made the devil so much stronger than a man. Protect me, Maria. Don't let the siren cast her spell. Don't let her fire sear my flesh and bone. Destroy Esmeralda, and let her taste the fires of hell, or let her be mine and mine alone. So
that's the twist.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes. So he is so fucked up. His brain can't handle this. The only thing that he can do is she needs to either be mine and make it okay that I'm lusting after her, or she needs to be destroyed. He is that incapable of seeing his own like flaws that it's like she needs to either be destroyed. Again, cruelty doesn't matter. Or she has to be mine. Like she has, like, because this cannot continue. This cannot exist. This incompatibility in my soul and my brain that I'm righteous, but I'm feeling these things. Like,
what the fuck?
Yeah,
it's literally. Oh God, the delusion.
Yes,
it's nightmarish. Yes, it is either you are so wicked and evil, what you're doing to me, you must be destroyed, or I must have you, and that would be a righteous act because
Exactly.
if you're mine, I will make you better.
And if you're mine, I'm saving you from the fire.
Exactly.
You have to die. And the only way you can not die is if I save you. So I'm still righteous because I'm saving you.
I feel triggered.
Yeah. Yeah.
This guy sucks.
He does. At this point, there's a break in the song. A guard comes in and tells him that Esmeralda's escaped from the sanctuary.
Mhm.
And he says, "What? How? Never mind. Get out, you idiot." And he says, "I'll find her if I have to burn down all of Paris." So psychotic already. He's going to burn down a city to get this girl. Especially psychotic and crazy when you think about the entire time he's singing hellfire, hellfire, hellfire. So he's set. The immediate juxtaposition of this is essentially saying he is likening himself to the devil. He will she will burn in hellfire. I will burn all of Paris if I have to get her. Essentially saying, I will bring hell. I will do whatever it takes to reconcile my pride.
And I think that it's such a powerful visually experience to watch this song.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think this central piece of the fireplace plays so many different roles in this song. And it goes from, fire has so many different meanings. Passion, purity, punishment, judgment, wickedness. And it actually portrays all of those different things throughout the song.
So good.
And at that point in the song, he is looking like the devil.
Yes.
In front of these flames, in front of the fireplace. And I don't know if you were about to touch on this, but his whole song, he's pleading, he's defending himself by he's so righteous. He's pleading, this wicked woman has come into my life, remove her, get her out of here. Why is she tempting me? Like he's saying, I want you out of my life. I want you out of the picture. I want your temptation gone. Then there's this moment. He's standing in front of the fireplace at one end of the room. The fire's around him. He's surrounded in flame. At the other end of the room, we have a mysterious faceless guard open the door, light shining around them, as if to depict an angel, a messenger of God, saying, hey, Esmeralda's out of the picture. She escaped.
Oh, yeah.
Your prayer is
She's
answered.
Gone. Yeah.
And in that moment, he says, no.
I have to have her. I have to destroy her. Yeah.
I will have her. I'm going to find her. And all of these quote unquote prayers he had moments prior, right out the window.
Yeah.
He did not want that. He wants her.
Yeah. Or her dead.
Or her dead.
Yes.
That is it. It is his lust. I don't know. It's a wild scene.
Yeah. It's insane. I can't believe this isn't a Disney movie.
Yeah.
So let's wrap up the song. So and after the guard comes in, he says, hellfire, dark fire, again quoting, now Gypsy, it's your turn. Choose me or your pyre. Be mine or you will burn. The choir starts saying, Lord have mercy. And he says, God have mercy on her. God have mercy on me, but she will be mine or she will burn. I just think it's also, he is asking, like, you can have mercy. Like he's so, like, he sees what he does as such a predetermined necessity that he is incapable of providing her mercy because he has to do what he has. It's not just that his mind is made, it's inevitable what he has to do. And that the only thing that can save her is God's mercy. He himself can't be merciful. The only thing capable is that God himself has to have mercy on her and on him, whatever that means. I still don't really God have mercy on me. Like, well, I don't know, who knows? But like, he is so blind, and he has so accepted his role as having to be like the devil or having to exact this quote unquote like divine justice, which is really just his trying to salvage his pride. That the only thing that can have mercy on her is God, and he can't. And it's insane.
I can't stress it enough how real of a villain this person is. How much this villain hits like home for so many people.
Yes.
I think he truly believes in what he believes in. Like, he believes in God. He believes in judgment. He believes in the one thing that ever stays his hand is the fear of God's judgment.
Yeah.
The only thing that ever stops him is the saints are watching.
Mm-hmm.
You will be judged. I think in this song, he goes through the turmoil of being afraid of hellfire for himself, on and off. And I think how to put this. It's when he says, give her mercy, but he also mentions, give me mercy.
Yeah.
I think he is legitimately going through internal turmoil.
Yeah.
About some of his own decisions that he refuses to see, but he's also tormented about them.
Well, he's saying have mercy on me, not give me the mercy to do them.
I think him murdering Quasimodo's mother, he always knew that he would be judged for that. And I think he legitimately follows this struggle of being tormented by his own actions, but also being so blind to the fact that I am righteous.
Yep.
Nothing is above me. And he's just in this very realistic, true to life scenario of someone who is so haughty and so
haughty. Nice use word. Of
thank you. Yeah, I'm brushing up on my dictionary.
My word today calendar is paying off.
I don't know how to describe this villain other than everybody knows someone like this.
And that's why he's so
makes
terrifying.
Him so scary.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah, he is so relatable in a terrible way. I think both from the religious angle and just the manipulation angle. There's so many angles that just the arrogance angle. I mean, there's so many ways that he really is someone that we've known or have heard of or have encountered. And it's, and that's why I think he's so effective. Just real quick. So the hellfire is the centerpiece. He then proceeds to actually burn Paris to the ground.
He does it.
He does. Yeah, he makes good on his promise. And he later tells Quasimodo, look what you've done.
Oh my God.
And he tells Quasi, which again, how much he believes his own lies is up to interpretation, but I think to some degree he does. Because of you, Paris is burning to the ground.
Yeah.
Because he confronts Quasimodo about helping Esmeralda escape. The logic is that if you had never helped Esmeralda escape, I wouldn't have had to do this. It's your fault.
Mm-hmm.
It's just classic abuser, gaslighter behavior. Also, not only does he blame Quasimodo for the fire, but he tells Frollo, I alone can save you from the flames of this world. He puts himself literally in the position of God or Jesus in Christian in Christian theology. Like there is just no depth to which he will not sink, and no amount of like self-aggrandizing he won't do. Like he in his eyes is the will of God. It's just wild. And then the movie ends. He up to the point he literally has Esmeralda on a pyre getting ready to burn her, and he tells her like, you can put a stop to this if you like get with me. like up to the last minute he still can't let go of that lust, and then of course Quasimodo and the gang save the day.
He says, okay, I'm gonna burn you alive unless you want to get with me.
Yeah, exactly.
And she says no, and he turns to the crowd and he says basically like, because she won't repent,
right,
she will die.
Yes.
He's wow, he's so infuriating.
Yeah, he's awful. He's terrible.
This evil little bastard.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And then the very last shot of him, like, there's an epic fight on the roof of Notre Dame. So for some reason, lava is involved. I don't know how. Again, like for the imagery, it's great, but I mean, I don't know. Like, Quasimodo just seemed to have lava lying around, and so there's lava on the ground, and Frollo's about to like hit him, and then the gargoyle he's standing on gives out, and he falls into the fire. But right before he does, like he looks like the devil. Like he's fully like you see him right before he dies, fully transformed, like fully taking the form that he truly is, which is a common device used for villains and stuff, but it's very effective in this movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Frollo. That's the overview of why Frollo is the most interesting Disney villain ever made. And And they've yet to top it. I don't think they can anymore. I mean, it would be such a brave thing to do a villain that real and that concerned with things like lust and pride and something so nuanced and put it in a modern day Disney movie. I don't think they can do it.
Unless we drastically break past, I don't know how to say this, PC culture.
Sure.
And I don't know how to say that in a good way, because it has made lots of good progress.
Unless there's a significant cultural shift.
Unless there's a point where Disney doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But you're right. They cannot. I have heard they've tried to revamp this movie to do a remake.
Really?
And it got paused in production due to basically the people hired to remake it butting heads with other producers on specifically the song Hellfire.
Really?
Because how do you put a song like this in
a modern day movie?
And a lot of people, and I would agree with them, and I think you would too, agree that
it's pivotal.
if you don't
make
have
the movie.
Hellfire, do not make the movie.
Don't bother. Yeah.
It literally sums up the whole movie. It all pivots on this song.
Yeah.
And it's a hard song for Disney to put into a film these days. I mean, I'm shocked they put it in.
It was hard
back
then.
then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And so, and I'm glad it exists. I think it's a really interesting Disney movie. I think that's why Frollo is my personal favorite Disney villain. There's been other good ones and other iconic ones. Obviously, honestly, more iconic than him. I mean, he's not the most famous. I mean, obviously, you got your Scar and your Ursula and
I certainly
Maleficent.
did not know much about Frollo. Like you mentioned him, I think on F-Zero.
Yeah,
I was like, who are you talking about? I was like, the priest from that movie.
You call him Frollo.
Yeah, Frollo. But I started to look into him, and like right away, I was like, man, this guy's fucked up.
Yeah, he is. He's
guy's
rough.
hardcore.
He's
now,
bad. Yeah.
You know, maybe his power level ain't that high, but his evil level is off the charts.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do our.
Let's talk about it.
Let me pull up.
Let's put this guy in the ring.
Let's pull up our rubric and then we'll.
Holy smokes! I couldn't believe this film got really uncomfortably close to SA. Kind of material with the hair sniffing, the cornering, the threatening or else.
Yes. Yep. It's
awful.
Not. It's really bad. And I mean, the book is worse.
I'm sure it's a lot worse.
I won't get into it, but yeah.
Jeez.
It's wild, and I think it's. I don't know whether or not the discussion of whether or not it's appropriate for kids or whatever is beyond the scope of this podcast, but at the very least, it was brave to do something like that. I don't know. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but the fact that they put such a real villain doing real things that awful people really do in the real world in a Disney movie, also grappling with religion and stuff is. We've said this over and over again. It's just wild that they did that.
Let's step in the ring. I want to start right off the bat.
Okay.
You think you could take this motherfucker?
Me? Of course. Okay. Are you kidding? Okay, so like he's a frail older man, but when we're doing this question, does he get all of his resources? Because could I take him and have to get through the army or guard of France or Paris? And it's kind of ambiguous. So because then no, but could I in a 1v1 in the octagon? Yeah, I could take Frollo.
Thus far, I mean, we're only on episode 2.
Parentheses 3, but yes.
You know, we're kind of taking this question as a spur of the moment kind of thing. So we kind of make up the rules as we go. But when I asked it, I'm thinking, okay, let's say I've got 2 scenarios. One, you're at the festival. He's sitting in his big dumb chair. And you fucking jump up on the stage.
No,
I
couldn't take him. No, okay? I couldn't get through all of his resources.
Scenario 2 is you're walking through the temple and you bump shoulders, and he kind of hits you a little hard when you're walking past, and he doesn't say "excuse me,"
and I do what I do, which
is
fight someone over that.
Yeah. So in that situation, how are we looking?
Okay, well, in that situation, I fucking turn him into dust. But and I'm not physically formidable, if anyone's like wondering. Yeah, but no, he's a frail old man. His power comes from his influence and his rule and his manipulation.
Yeah.
So the better question is, do you think he can manipulate you? I'm not going to ask if you can take him in a fight, because I think if you're an able-bodied, not
You're an average.
If you're an average person, yeah, you could probably take Frollo in a fight. But
yeah,
do you think you could? That was my chair. I didn't. I didn't.
I heard that through my headphones.
I didn't fart. The question is, do you think you could not be manipulated by him?
Me personally, no, absolutely not. I'm just gonna say that I'm gonna look right through his fucking bullshit dumbass eyes, and no, he's not gonna get me.
Oh, you don't think he can manipulate you?
I do not think. I don't think. Sit me down in a room with him for 20 minutes. He's not gonna convince me of shit.
Yeah, I think so. I think that.
That's for me.
No,
personally.
I don't think I would either, but here's why. I think the things he does in the movie are legitimately conniving and a great example of abuser behavior, and I'd like to think I could not fall for that, but I don't know. I'm human or whatever. But his portrayal, because he's a Disney villain, he just gives so much ick. Like his ick, his like ick per second is so. I'm pretty sure I would clock him immediately. Like this guy is a creeper.
His IPC.
Yeah, his IPC or IPS.
IPS.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't think he can manipulate me either. I think I would see through him. I think.
I would say, based on the way he twists things, I could definitely see this guy running for office.
Yes, I could. He
and
could,
probably,
yes.
getting a good 45 to even 65% of the population.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Based on the current times.
Yeah.
I think he'd be great.
Okay, let's just go over a couple points. We talked extensively about his lore. How do you think this guy looks? How's his aesthetic? I think he looks like a chump. I'm just gonna say it. He's so dorky. His voice, though, if we're counting his voice as part of his aesthetic, chills. But he's such a doofus. Like he does not. I mean, he's dressed for the period, I guess. But
okay, yeah, no.
If this man walked to my door, I would not be intimidated by him.
He just. No, it's the robe does his nose good
Q was
service.
looking at pictures of him.
I'm looking at pictures of his fucking dumbass Bloom hat. His
little deflated chef's hat.
I mean, the man's onto something with his rings, but everything else, just fucking bones.
Yeah.
He looks like an idiot.
He does. He looks like a doofus. He's dressed in period piece. They did their research. They did their homework. It looks good for the movie, but pure style points. He's not. God, there.
He's at a 1 on that.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Skill set and powers. Master manipulator, and he has an army at his back to do his bidding.
I think he's pretty high on both of those.
I mean, it's all relative, right? Because we talked about Bowser wiping out universes. But like he's formidable. He's definitely like
he could arm a city against someone.
Exactly. He has this again, so unlike so many Disney villains. There's other Disney villains that rule by manipulation, but so many of them ultimately come down to also being physically formidable. And this guy's power is entirely like soft power. It's entirely his ability to rule and manipulate. And in that sense, he is powerful, but it's interesting because it's very not Disney, and generally speaking.
Yeah.
Pop culture influence we have, honestly, kind of lower on the influence scale compared to a lot of other Disney.
Yeah,
villains.
I think he's towards the bottom.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't know about. I was one of them.
Yeah,
didn't know jack shit about this guy.
Yeah,
until recently. So,
you're welcome.
Thank you. I'm gonna see my therapist and talk about this because you've opened up a whole new door of trauma.
And then, how evil are they? Last time we did this from 1 to 10.
So I think this guy's pretty fucking evil.
Yeah.
I also think he definitely has a sense of morality because he is conflicted with I think he is haunted by some of his choices. So there is a give and take.
Okay.
However, the amount that he pushes back on it, like he's not a 10 on the evil score, in my opinion, because he does have. Sometimes he shows a little remorse. He shows a little restraint in his own fucked up way. He does
think he's taking care of Quasimodo.
Yeah, he kept Quasimodo alive in his own way. He did do a good thing, regardless of his intent. But oh man, I think this guy is pushing. I think he's an 8.
An 8. Yeah.
I think an 8 is a fair assessment. Like I think he's pretty fucking evil. This guy is wicked. He's a bad dude.
Yeah. Okay. 8 is definitely fair. Okay. So here's the thing. You mentioned him, like, I don't think he's ever actually shows remorse. I think he has fear. I think
that's so good.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
No. But I mean, like 8 is still really high, and I think that's appropriate. But I think you can even take away the points you give him of goodness or morality or non-evilness, because I don't think he's ever actually having any crisis of conscience. I think he's afraid of God's judgment. Like he's literally afraid of hellfire.
Which, damn, do you not boil down so many people?
Yes, exactly.
In today's age,
and just general, just humanity. Yeah,
yeah.
So I would say, and even his righteousness, or even the things that are kind of vaguely good about him, like he didn't kill Quasimodo. Like,
good job.
Yeah,
great job.
He raised Quasimodo in an attic. Is still driven by fear, and he still counts. It's not for altruism; it's for his own pride. I think the only thing that can make him more evil, which again, just because if he's other people can share the same amount of evil. Like if he's a 10, there's other 10s, or if he's a 1, there's other 1s. The only thing I think that can make him more evil, I think, would be ambition. I think he's actually, like we talked about, his lust for power, his lack, like his satisfaction with his station in life is the only thing that keeps. Now he still burns Paris to the ground, but I do think that when he found Esmeralda, he would stop. I don't think he burns Paris to the ground for the pleasure of it.
It was for no greater reason of climbing up any ranks or getting more government authority.
I think he would stop. I mean, I don't know, maybe he would still go for the Romani, but he seems like his motivation, while insane and crazy and evil, does have an expiration date, and it's when she's out of the picture. So because of that, I'm gonna give him a 9.
Ooh,
but he could even possibly be a 10. But I'm gonna give him a 9 just because, like, I can see how he could possibly get worse. But he's a 9, I think.
Wow, I think that's fair.
So do we want to round up or round down? I guess so. He's 8.5.
I think we should always round down.
Round down.
So an 8.5, right?
8.
Oh no.
So do we do? So if the average is 8.5, does that mean he's a 9 or an 8? Or should we just do 0.5? Should we just?
No, I'm thinking we should do decimals.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay.
So if I'm an 8, you're a 9, and 8.5.
Okay, let me see if I can find him on here. Oh, there he is. I'm putting him on our list. 8.5.
But we're not allowed to rate at a decimal. There's going to be no 8.7s or 8.2s.
Right. Yes, because that gets too granular. Yeah, I agree. That's good.
Okay. Wow, man. You know what? I can see him more evil than Bowser.
Oh,
for sure.
We did talk about who would win in a fight.
Do we even need to mention it?
Bowser versus Frollo.
Oh my god.
I think Bowser still stomps even with all of Frollo's resources. I don't think the army of Paris could take Bauser.
Bowser would level Paris.
Yeah, he would. Yeah.
Just fucking decimate.
Can you
this
imagine Bowser
nerd.
singing Hellfire? I want to see a Bowser sing Hellfire. That's what I need.
Oh my god, man, I gotta email Jack Black. Listen, man, you gotta do this for me, brother.
Just follow me with this on this one, Jack.
Fire,
yeah,
Hellfire. So good.
You will burn. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Okay.
Wow.
That's it. That's right. That's the end.
That's it. All right. Yeah. No, that's it, everybody. Sweet. So, hey, if you guys have any villains that you want to hear us talk about, shoot us an email. I will put the link in the show notes. And until we see you next time, stay bad.
I just thought about something when we were talking about how he looks and how bad he looks.
Uh-huh.
More like Frumplo.
Wow, that's good. That
Frollo the Frump.
Wow.
Yeah, it's good. Put that in there. Like, take that out.
I'll put that. I'll slip that in the app.
Put that in the Frollo episode.
It's like when you're in the middle of like a hot shower and you finally figure out the perfect comeback. More like Frollo the front blow.
Yeah. Except that it's not good.
Stay bad.
Great.
You nasty boy.
No. Okay, you can't keep doing that. It's not funny anymore. It's still funny, but you can't keep doing that. It's still funny, but don't do it. No, I'm gonna do what you did. Until next time, stay bad.
That sounded great.
Yeah, but
they don't know what I'm doing to them.
I still have to look at you. You're making Frollo eyes at me.
Until next time, stay bad.
Gross. You monster.